believe it. I didn't allow myself to think the Mavericks were moving up in the lottery. During the Wemby year, when the Mavericks were in the lottery, they ended up with Derek Lively, incredible player. I did convince myself that they were going to win the lottery that year. I just felt it in the air. Just felt like it had to happen. And I was very disappointed when they didn't. But I didn't allow myself to think that this was going to happen. And it did. So here's just my thoughts. Look, is it rigged? That's just the number one question. I said this last night, and I stand by it. I don't give a fuck if it's rigged. If it's rigged, thank God. I mean, what are you wanting me to say? If we're just going to accept that they rigged the lottery, they've done it a million times. They did it for the Spurs. They did it for the Cavs. They did it for the Pelicans. Well, thank God it's rigged for my Mavericks. I mean, what do you want me to say? If it's already rigged, then I want it to be rigged for my team. Like, what else am I supposed to say? If it is rigged, then, hey, at least it's for my team. So that's where I'm at. Everyone they do it through a third party. Every team has a representative in the room. By all accounts, it's not rigged. Now I gotta say, it is quite miraculous. I think House said it on the Bill Simmons podcast. It's the best way to put it is there's been a lot of miracles in the last few decades in the draft that makes you say, huh. That seems quite interesting. It's happened enough times that you do have to sort of think about it, right? It does raise the question. But again, if it is rigged, which I don't know, maybe it is. Maybe it is. It is a lot of coincidences. It is a lot of, wow, that's very fortunate. The Cavs land the number 1 overall pick the year LeBron's in it. Wow, that's quite fortunate. The Cavs land the number 1 overall pick the year after LeBron leaves. Wow, that's fortunate. The Pelicans were the number 1 overall pick before they trade AD. Wow. Great odds. Now, I have seen people say in response to this, and I gotta reply to this criticism because I think it's stupid as hell. God, who did it? It was a football guy, Jacob Kolsterman. Is that his name? Something like that. Am I right? Am I right? I have to pull this up. Is that a person? Kolsterman. He's a YouTuber. Kosselman. Can somebody tell me what it is? Because I saw a take here that I thought was really was bad in response to this, and I'll get into why. Would you consider trading the veterans and building around Flag? Yeah, we're gonna get to all of that. Does nobody know who I'm talking about? Chuck Klosterman, is that his name? No. He's a YouTube guy. Fuck. Like a big draft guy. He made a take that I really disagree with. The guy sponsored by Underdog. Yeah, he's sponsored by Underdog. Oh, it's Brett Coleman. I don't know who the hell I was talking about. Yeah, it's Brett Coleman. Yes. So here it is. This approach is why the NFL is eating the NBA's lunch. NFL preseason rates higher than NBA playoff games. They took over Christmas Day at will. And why? Because they make every market matter. The face of the league is in Kansas City. The draft is in a small town in Wisconsin. Let me jump in here and say this, and I've said it a million times. The reason why the NFL's ratings do so well is because it's an institution. That's it. Like, I need people to understand that. I've said it a million times. Football is an institution in the United States. Okay? Watch an NFL game. Go and ask a real NFL fan, do they think the product's really good right now? Do they think the NFL is a good product? There's like 4 good quarterbacks, 4 or 5 good quarterbacks. Injuries are terrible right now. There were primetime games in the NFL last season and games where it was like the 3rd or 4th strings fucking quarterbacks going at it. It's awful. Okay? Now, that being said, it's a institution, the NFL is. People sit down on Sunday and they turn on the NFL. That will always be the case, and that's just the way that it is. So acting like this is why, I think is stupid. The small market, the NBA doesn't care about small markets. I just mentioned to you all of the times people claim the lottery is rigged. What teams did I say? The Cleveland Cavaliers, the San Antonio Spurs, the New Orleans Pelicans. So I do push back against the league doesn't give a fuck about small markets. San Antonio is an incredibly small market, okay? And if you were to say it's rigged, you have to say it's rigged in favor of the the Spurs, right? San Antonio, let me rephrase that. San Antonio is a big market. It's a smaller sports market. You don't think of it the way you think of big markets. Does that make sense? You don't think of it the way you think of a Los Angeles, the way you think of a New York. I mean, even the way you think of a Dallas or a Houston, even though San Antonio is right on par with how big that city is and that market is. Did Adam Silver wire you money to talk about this slightly? I mean, look, the league might be rigged, but I'm saying the idea that like they don't give a fuck about small market teams. I mean, you look at who's almost certainly going to be in the Final Four this year. It's probably going to be OKC, could even be Denver, but it's probably going to be OKC. It's going to be the Knicks, which is a big one. The Pacers and the Timberwolves. Like those are small market teams. So I don't know. I don't agree with the league shits on smaller markets. I don't really think that's the case. The league, I think, should do a better job of marketing some of these guys, but at the same time, they have done a pretty good job. Like Shea's everywhere. Shea's on every fucking commercial, it feels like. Like John Morant, I mean, how many times were we like, I can't believe what they're doing for John Morant? Like John Morant, before his fuck ups and stuff like that, I think people forget a little bit how much he was being pushed. If John Morant had a dunk in a game, if you went on the NBA Instagram, it was like 50 straight posts about John Morant. He plays in Memphis. So I disagree with this shit. I think it's a really incorrect take. And truthfully, I just think it's wrong. I think it's ill-informed, and I don't think it pertains to this whatsoever. Like, I don't think it matters at all. And I think it's weird for, like, NFL fans to say this. It's an institution. The NFL football is an institution. That's it. How can you guys say this? It's hilarious coming from NFL fans because what's the biggest criticism of the NFL? What's the biggest criticism of how people talk about the NFL? They quite literally only fucking talk about the Cowboys. The Cowboys get brought up all the time. The Cowboys, 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 Cowboys. It's the same shit. They talk about the Cowboys more than like ESPN talks about the Knicks. The NBA is a superstar-driven league. So people talk about LeBron. People are already going to talk about the Lakers, but people talk about LeBron. It's amplified that he's on the Lakers. People are going to talk about Steph. Guess what? Nobody was talking about the Golden State Warriors before Steph Curry. So people are going to talk about Steph and the Warriors. What are the Warriors doing? What are the Warriors doing? What are the Warriors doing? That's because we care about Steph Curry. No offense. So, I mean, I think this take is so wrong. I think it's just an incorrect, an inaccurate assessment of this situation. There are problems that the NBA has, but just shitting on small markets just doesn't make much sense to me. For the people bringing up OKC and Indy and Minneapolis, my point is less about market size and more so about how the NFL focuses on non-luck-based parity that allows all markets to thrive. Your record is your record. Everything is decided on the field, and nothing is random. But in the NBA lottery, one market's good luck is the draw, and the draw is another market's catastrophically bad luck that resigns another generation to apathy. I mean, yeah, they could probably rework the lottery. I mean, I would agree with that. They could probably rework the lottery. Now, they do it to avoid shameless tanking because the difference is when an NFL team decides to pull the plug, they can tank, and it's for 3 or 4 games. When an NBA team pulls the plug, and you've got 7, 8 teams not playing for anything and trying to lose for 82 games, that becomes a problem. Yeah, the problem is from an outsider's perspective who might not be paying attention to the NBA in January or February, I get this, but if you were to say there's fixed odds now, like if you're the worst team, you have the number 1 overall pick. I don't think people understand, because also there's a big difference between the NFL and the NBA in the sense that, yes, you need a quarterback in the NFL, but realistically, one, quarterbacks can bust pretty easily. Like there's the hit rate on quarterbacks is shockingly low. So it's not even a guarantee that if you get the quarterback, you're good. It's shockingly low, the hit rates for quarterbacks. And two, that pick's probably not, unless you're hitting a home run. Pause. What did I say? Unless you're hitting a home run with the quarterback, the reality is it's probably not going to be. I don't know what I said. It's probably not going to change your franchise. The reality is landing a number 1 pick in the NBA draft is changing your franchise dramatically. Changing your franchise dramatically. The tanking that would happen in the NBA would be fucking disgusting from night 1 of the season. I need people to understand that. David, thank you for the $1. Quarterbacks can bust pretty easily. How many times do you see that in person? Oh my God. Get your head out of the damn gutter, guys. I'm making a point. So that's why they do it. I don't think that's true. Solid. Did last year's number 1 change the organization? No. I mean, you're gonna have drafts that are kind of weak like last year. But if it was a fixed draft, what do you think the NBA in going into this year was like clear cut Cooper Flag? What do you think it would have looked like? What do you think the Wemby year would have looked like? How many teams would have entered the season just be like, guys, lose as many fucking games as possible? Please. 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 It would have been so terrible. And there already is tanking. I understand that. There already is tanking. And in February and March, it gets really bad. It would be that level the whole season. There would be teams trying to get 5 wins. Because I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about anybody on this roster. I need Victor Wembanyama. I don't care about any of you guys. I don't even care about y'all's development. There are less guys in the NBA that is more likely the bust than the NFL with more active people, just probability. Well, no, but I'm saying in the NFL, one guy's not dramatically changing your franchise unless you hit a home run on the quarterback. And even the top end number 1 overall pick quarterbacks are prone to busting. Yes, they're prone to busting or not. NBA, they've gotten pretty fucking good at drafting. Like, when was the last time we've had a non-injury related catastrophic first overall pick bust? How long has it been? You want to call Ayton a bust? That's fine. I'd go there. That's what, Ayton? Ayton is a bust for a first overall pick. Reece Shea is different because the context of the draft is different. Fultz, Simmons, these guys are injury related. Zion, injury related. Would Fultz have ever lived up to it? I don't know, but his is injury related. It's really like Ayton. Ayton is a bust. Especially considering the talent of that draft. Ayton is a bust. People acting like Flag is a guaranteed top 10 in the NBA in 4 to 5 years. You traded Luka.